Inheriting a house might feel like you have won the lottery, but let me be frank with you. It is super complicated. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can cost you so much money and headaches that you haven't even imagined. And here's why it's tricky. Selling an inherited property isn't just about putting the house on the market. It's about who has the legal authority. Is the house in a trust or is it going to go through probate? It's about taxes and a step up in basis. It's about all the issues that might be in a title, whether there are liens or any restrictions, or other problems on the title that can block or delay the sale. It's about family relationship and everyone's right in the inheritance. It's about timing. It is a complicated mess if you don't have the right guidance. I will walk you through the 5 mistakes that cost families the most amount of money. Mistake number 1 is not checking the title early in the process. There could be hidden debt surprises that you're not aware of. A lot of heirs assume the home is free and clear until right before the closing, they discover hidden debt. That could be an old mortgage, a reverse mortgage that's coming due, unpaid property taxes, mechanic liens, or other liens tied to the property. And here's the key. Those debts are paid before the heirs receive anything. So what's the fix? You verify everything early in the process. Start with a property profile so you know exactly what's attached to the property and what has to be paid off before we can close the house and what the net proceeds are. Mistake number 2 is rushing the process. This one is emotional. The house is packed with memories, grief is real, and the process feels overwhelming. So people just want a fast exit. And that's when the lowball investors come in with the quick and easy. What's the fix? Slow down long enough to get clarity. If the home is not in a trust, you will likely need probate. And without probate authority, you typically can't sell. Probate courts are busy. It can take many months and sometimes longer. You may need court documents before you can sign anything. But here's the upside. While probate is moving, you can still prepare the property the smart way. So you are ready the moment you have the authority to sell the house. Mistake number 3 is not understanding step up in basis. This mistake can cost families a massive unnecessary check to the IRS or state authorities. Let me give you an example. Let's say your parents bought their home for $200,000 way back when, and it's now worth $2 million. That's $1.8 million of appreciation. Most people assume they will owe federal and state capital gains taxes on that entire amount. But in an inheritance case, you get a step up in basis, meaning your cost basis becomes the home's fair market value on the date of death. If you sell near that value, you may own little to no federal or state capital gains taxes. The big mistake is not documenting the home value on the date of death. That's why you need a date of death appraisal or a comparative market analysis if it's simple to determine what the value is. And what is the fix? Is you order a retrospective date of death appraisal as early as possible because it's one of the best financial moves you can make in this entire process. Mistake number 4, the family power struggle. Everyone thinks they have a vote. This is where inheritances fall apart emotionally. When multiple heirs are involved, everyone thinks they have an equal decision power, but legally, usually only one person is in charge, the trustee, or the executor, or the personal representative. Conflict happens fast. One wants to keep the house, One wants to sell it, one wants to rent it, and everything freezes. So the fix is clarify the roles and communicate consistently. If you're the person in charge, be transparent. Weekly updates on pricing, offers, costs, and timelines. That prevents conflicts and resentment. Mistake number 5, renovating the wrong things. The renovation money pit. Most inherited homes are dated, and families think we need to remodel before we sell. That's where inheritances quietly bleed out. Before you spend big money, do the smart thing. Get a pre-listing home inspection so you know what actually matters and what's wrong. Focus on what I call the big 5, the items that can crush the value and get the buyers to pull out of the transaction if you ignore them. Water leaks and plumbing, HVAC, roof issues, electrical, and foundation. These are the 5. Then shift your mindset. Don't renovate, neutralize. The high return moves include decluttering, depersonalizing, deep cleanings, and a neutral paint. I have multiple videos on these topics. I'm going to put one at the end of this video. You can watch it. It's a complicated process. Again, I can guide you through that. Let me wrap up. Selling an inherited property is a marathon. It's not a sprint. But if you follow the checklist and avoid these mistakes, title surprises, rushing, missing tax and legal steps, family conflicts, and over renovating, you protect both your sanity and the inheritance value. If you have an aging parent and you have a close relationship with them, talk to them now. Make sure they have their will and trust set up. And if the house isn't in a trust, have them put the house into a trust. It saves you a ton of headache. Because if the home isn't in a trust, you may end up stuck in probate for months or years before you can sell the home. If you want help, I'm a realtor, informed tax advisor, and a CPA. I'm not an attorney and I'm not providing any legal advice, but I can help you navigate the process and connect you with the right probate attorney or trust attorney if you need one. As I told you, together we can use this information to protect you and do something great together. The link to connect with me is in the description. Thanks for watching.